Hello, my name is Dr. Elizabeth Whalen, and in this video we're going to talk about the Tourism and Hospitality Management Internship, which you will take at the end of your time at MTSU. Typically it's going to be in your last semester. That could be fall, summer, or spring. And so we're going to look at some of the requirements that go into that and discuss exactly what the internship is and what you should be looking for. So the first thing is that you can take the internship in 3 different sections, 904, 905, and 906. This just coordinates with whatever your specialization is. So if you specialize in tourism, you'll take one versus hospitality versus event planning. So that's really where that is. It has to do with which specialization. It doesn't impact anything else. You would take the same requirements and the manual is the same for each one. So let's talk about exactly what the internship is and what it's supposed to do. So the internship is a way for you to experience the work world above and beyond the classroom. So one of the important things to understand about hospitality and tourism is that you have to put in the hours, you have to put in the time to get into management. Getting a degree isn't enough to then go and apply for a job and say, I'm ready to be a supervisor, I'm ready to be a manager. Unless you have actual work experience, those things will not happen. So what you really need to do is spend your time throughout, hopefully your college career, working in a line level position, and then when you get to your internship, looking for opportunities. There are some companies that require you to have a degree before you start management training programs. So this could be a lead-in into that. You might not be able to do an MIT, is what we call the Manager in Training program, until you actually graduate. That's why one of the important things is, even though this course is called internship, you should be looking for a job. Hospitality and tourism is a little bit different, that there are very few actual internships, and most of the time you're just looking for full employment. The hope is that you find an opportunity that is going to expose you to multiple different departments so you can figure out exactly what you want to do. But if that's not possible, that's okay. It's really important to just really get your hands-on experience, get into the organization, let them know that you're getting a degree, what your opportunities are and what you're looking for, and hopefully the organization can work with you. And even if your job is very specialized, like say you're doing front desk or housekeeping, or you're doing F&B, that they give you an opportunity at least one shift a week to explore other components of the organization so you can get a full, well-rounded experience, especially when it comes to leadership positions, management, supervisors. The goal is for you to get out there, get experience while you're still a student, so that way when you graduate, you are ready to take on those bigger responsibilities. So that's the goal and what we're hoping for from an internship. When you're going and applying for these internships, look for jobs and not just the word internship. Tell them you're looking for a full-time job, not necessarily looking for an internship. There's this idea that internship means unpaid, and I highly recommend not doing an unpaid internship. If you're investing 480 hours, 40 hours a week, it really is unlikely that the institution, unless it's a not-for-profit organization, actually meets federal guidelines and standards to have you work that much and not pay you for it. So again, I really highly recommend that you look for a paid opportunity, which most likely means you're looking for a job as opposed to an internship. There are some exceptions to that rule, but in general, that's what you're looking for. So as far as this document goes, you're going to be working for an organization that's who's employing you. Do you have a supervisor who's going to have to sign off on being willing to give you these evaluations? There are going to be evaluations for midterm and final and weekly evaluations that you should be able to work with that organization supervisor as well. You are considered the intern. In this case, it's the class you're enrolled in, the 4904, 4905, or 4906. Your internship or job, just depends on what your learning opportunity is. You must be employed full-time, which means 40 hours a week for 12 consecutive weeks for a total of 480 hours. And then the university supervisor is the faculty member who is in charge of your internship credits. Okay. Prereqs, in general, this really should be your last semester that you're getting this, so we're going to require that you have hopefully all of your core classes done. However, at a bare minimum, we're really looking for you to at least have the intro class, service design and delivery, our leadership seminar, and senior seminar. So these are kind of the basics that you need. Again, the further along in the process, the better off you are in order to take that internship. And you must have a 2.25 GPA, cumulative GPA, or higher. In addition, you're required to fill out 2 forms and have them submitted to the faculty advisor or the university supervisor prior to the date required for that semester in order to get the approvals to get the registration code in order to be able to enroll in an internship. If you do not turn in these forms prior to the deadline, you will not be able to take internship for that following semester, and you will have to wait. This is a hard and fast deadline that you must submit these forms to, and there are two very easy forms to fill out. They're attached to this manual, as well as the forms just by themselves that you can use as well. And if you reach out to the faculty supervisor, they will be able to give you this manual as well as those forms very easily and apparently, so that's a very good way to get the ball rolling and get things started. In the internship, you are required to, again, complete your coursework, have approval both from the organization that you'll be working for as well as the internship coordinator, the university faculty supervisor. The reason for this is, again, we need that supervisor willing to fill out some forms for you during the course of that 12 weeks in order to make sure that you're meeting standards. You must also have liability insurance. If you have a full-time employed job where you're getting paid, this should already be covered by the organization. If not, there's information about buying professional liability insurance at the end of this document. The minimum length of the time of the internship must be 12 consecutive weeks for 480 hours, and that's basically 40 hours a week over those 12 consecutive weeks. If you're, say, taking a vacation for a week, again, the semester is 15 weeks, so there's some variability in there. Just make sure you talk to the organization supervisor as well as a faculty supervisor so we can make sure we're getting those hours and that it fits within the time frame of the semester that you are taking the internship. From a university standpoint, we do help you find opportunities. The way we help you find opportunities is we are going to post in the THM student Facebook group whenever employers reach out to us with opportunities. We are also going to host things like career fairs and have opportunities for industry professionals to come and speak to you in the classroom, and that's an opportunity for you to go up and ask for job opportunities or applications. So really the way that we are assisting you is providing you the opportunities, but you then must follow through and find the job yourself. We do not place you. We do not have a list of employers and then you just handpick which one you want. You are going to have to actively seek that job application and that job opportunity by taking advantage of the things we're offering you, such as job postings in the Facebook group for THM students, the career fairs, and guest speakers that come to campus to speak to you to look at opportunities within the market. You can also look beyond the Middle Tennessee region. Say you're going for a summer semester, or even for that matter, fall, spring, if you don't have any other classes. Feel free to take opportunities anywhere around the world as long as they fill in the requirements that we need, that they are hospitality or tourism organizations. All right, so just some of the requirements from the organization. If you want to share this with them, if they're signing these forms, they're like, well, what are they requiring from me? Feel free to share this manual with them, and they can see that you need to be employed full-time for at least 12 consecutive weeks for those 480 hours. We do have information here about payment, that you should be paid, and if they are going to be a not-for-profit organization that meets federal guidelines, they must submit approval to us that they meet those guidelines. They also have to be willing to provide supervisory feedback for you throughout the consecutive 12 weeks, especially with the midterm and final, as well as weekly meetings with you to discuss your progress. Your responsibility, of course, is to fill in all the requirements of this course, to conduct yourselves professionally because you represent MTSU as well as the THM program, and even more importantly, you represent yourself and your future career. Make sure you're submitting weekly reports to your university supervisor, and make sure you're meeting with your supervisor within the organization to maintain those standards and make sure you're meeting all requirements. So the way you will be graded is you have weekly reports you turn in each week for a total of 11 of those. The 12th week will be your final evaluation and your final report. During the semester, you will also have a midterm supervisor report and a final supervisor report. These are submitted by the supervisor from your organization to your faculty supervisor, and the grade is determined and established by the faculty supervisor based on the report that your internship supervisor is giving to us directly. So the things that you're going to do are the weekly reports and student final report, and then you are sitting down with your supervisor to go over midterm and final, which they will submit. So your weekly progress reports, these are the things you turn in each week. There's a form that you must fill out, but in addition, you have a separate plan for each week that you have to complete. In week 1, you will be creating 5 SMART goals. SMART means specific, measurable, attainable, relevant, and time-bound. You must describe those 5 SMART goals and how they meet these different standards of specific, measurable, attainable, relevant, and time-bound, and get signed off by your supervisor. In week 2, you will then look at those SMART goals again and create action plans or ways you're going to actually attain those. Describe how you're doing that, how you'll do it within the timeline of the actual internship itself, and again, get those signed off by your supervisor. In week 3, we're going to move a little bit outside of just the SMART goals. You're going to do some research about the Americans with Disability Act and how it pertains to your organization. In week 4, you're going to look at diversity or the customer profiles and employee profiles within your organization and how that impacts you as an employee. In week 5, you're going to look at leadership styles of all the different leaders that you work for within your organization and things that they do well, things that maybe they want to improve on, and how you think that's going to impact you as a leader as you move up into leadership positions. Starting week 6, you'll have that midterm evaluation that you're going to do with your supervisor. Your weekly report will then review what happened within that midterm report, things that you can improve on, things you discussed, things that you want to work on as you move forward. Then the remaining weeks, you're going to take each one of those different 5 SMART goals you created, and you're going to talk about your progress in achieving your goals within the final 5 weeks of the progress reports. In week 12, you will turn in your final report, which has everything put together in one portfolio. So this is the form that you will need for the weekly progress report. So you're going to put in all your information here. You're going to then answer all these questions, including the learning objective that we just went over here. So you have quite a bit of information there to make sure you go through and submit that as a a typed document to D2L Dropbox. It will not be accepted in any other format, and it is due the week of that weekly report. Late assignments will not be accepted. You will receive a 0. For the final report, you're going to take all that information you put together and basically make it one portfolio or a notebook, and then do an ultimate where you include your student evaluation of the internship site as well as your evaluation of your supervisor. So you are actually also looking at the job you had and whether or not you thought it was a good opportunity for the internship, why or why not, and what happened when you were there. So make sure you hit all these different points. So you'll be putting all your weekly reports together as well as your student evaluation of the internship site and site supervisor, as well as some additional follow-up feedback that you'll do in a new form or a new paper. For enrolling into internship, the 2 documents you'll need is you need an internship placement verification form filled out and signed by the organizational supervisor and yourself. And you will also need to fill out the internship agreement, which will be signed by you and your supervisor again. So when you go to them, make sure you have both forms complete so that you can get them both signed and turned into the faculty supervisor. Then for your supervisor, you want to make sure you make accessible to them the midterm evaluation sheet that they will need to complete and send to the faculty supervisor. And it is a couple pages long. This is a separate document you can also find. And they're going to need to fill out all this information and go over it with you. We have the same thing for the final evaluation form you'll find on here. Then when we get past your supervisor's forms, you have your own forms. So you're going to, in your final report, fill out your evaluation of the internship site, which is this form, and fill out a form about your organization supervisor, which you're going to give feedback. The final page on here just gives some information about professional liability insurance if you are not provided that as part of your jobs. So it's really important that you understand exactly what the internship is and what you're looking for, and make sure you have everything you need prior to the deadline of that semester to be able to enroll in internship for the following semester. That means you already need to have a job lined out, you already need to have your forms, the verification and the agreement filled out and submitted to your faculty supervisor prior to the deadline in order to enroll in internship. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to any of the faculty within the THM program. We are happy to help. We're happy to look at what kind of opportunities you're looking into and even maybe pick between different opportunities if you are lucky enough to have multiple opportunities to look at. So with that, I hope that you are looking forward to the internship and what you can do within that, and that this hopefully guides you into a really productive career in tourism and hospitality management.